What's up, otakus? Boy, it's been a crazy day. We finished up work. We got work finished up. I got up early this morning, finished it up, and headed out the door to our first comic book shop around noon. Actually, around 11. And we hit up Dream Strands, the first of how many shops? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first of 5 shops we hit today. And then earlier this week, on Wednesday, I hit up 2 shops. So all in all, we hit up 7 shops this week. The budget reset today. And I spent a total of $170, but technically 20 of those dollars were spent on like 3 Golden Age top loaders, as well as a top loader now for my Treasury Edition. It's beautiful. Look at that. So my Treasury Edition, crossover, DC Marvel crossover, paid $20. Yeah, so we paid $8 for the big Treasury Edition one, and these were $3 each. So it came out to about $17 plus tax, about $20, just on supplies. And so of that 170, 20 were on supplies and 150 were on books. And we picked up 37 books. Again, we hit up 7 shops in the local area. And some of these shops I hadn't been to in a very, very long time. But each shop had stuff we wanted to pick up. And I really overspent earlier in the at Half Price Books. On Wednesday, I overspent there, but since the budget reset, I was like, okay, let's spend another 50 or whatever, because we spent about $63 at Half Price Books. And then our budget reset today. Hey, what's up, Miss So? It's going to be a huge, exciting haul on this one. So I went out today, we're going to hit up all these shops. We're just going to kind of go from shop to shop and just hunt. Not hunt we're going to be very time efficient and just look for the stuff we want. And then move on to the next shop. And luckily, we got to our last shop. So we started up at Dream Strands. We then went to Arcane Comics. Then we went to World of Collectibles. Then we hit up Linwood Half Price Books. Then we hit up Mill Geek Comics. That was our last stop. And I basically, sat there, chatted with Russ. I only had 40 minutes to dig there. Which isn't a lot of time. So rather than try to go through all the bargain, found a couple of books in the 50-cent bins, but we went after some more the bigger priced books. And I have thoughts on all of these shops, and I'll just give them to you as we go along. So the first shop we went to was Dream Strand Comics, and I like that shop. I like Dreams. I like the owner there. The owner is he's very chill. He likes to converse, although today he wasn't that chatty, but today was the anniversary of the shop. So he gave 25% off all the books, which I thought was pretty cool, And, you know, it's really easy to hunt in there because they've got everything kind of labeled and in order. And they also have grades on the books, which I really appreciate. He does a very thorough job of the grading when he prices them out. So, yeah, you know, we kind of paid the book value for these books, but given the grade and all, I didn't feel terrible about it. So I guess we'll start here. We're going to start with some dollar books. I found these in the dollar bins. This is Wildcats Volume 2, Number 1. Great Trevichare cover. Great grifter cover there. Man, that is that dollar. Got that for $1, man. We got our first Jim Lee book that we're going to show off. Wildstorm number 4. Nice Jim Lee cover there. We picked up 7 Jim Lee books today. So the count is up to 360. We're at 360 Jim Lee books. Again, pick this one up for $1. Pretty nice. Pick this one up for $3.50. Another John Byrne addition to the collection. John Byrne Action Comics, his run on that. Picked up a Ballin' Wonder Woman. This is a really nice one. Glad I got this one in near mint. Wonder Woman 81. And this is a DC logo, not the typical DC logo you see, but the old school Bullet logo. So that's a variant right there. Really felt fortunate to pick up that one. I mean, I would imagine that's pretty rare. So pick that one up for $4.50, and then pick this this amazing Jim Lee Joker cover here from the Justice League run. Pick that one up for $6. So, you know, all in all, with the 25% discount, this came out to be like 13 and change. So really felt good about that first stop. Now, Arcane Comics. I want to talk about this shop for a little bit. We went in there, and they have just a little. So we didn't do a lot of digging or hunting in there because all their back issue bins are on one table, on top and the bottom of the table, and they didn't have much selection in there. But we did find a lot of the stuff that we wanted. So I picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books in there. I actually had a thicker stack. And generally when I, you know, ask if I can get a little bit of a discount, most shop owners are very open to that. They're willing to negotiate, especially if you're getting a big stack like that. But they had a Transformers 1 also available, newsstand. They had it for $125, and I asked to see it, and I looked at it. It had a little bit of like scratches or scrapes at the top of the cover. A good amount of color breaking spine ticks all along the spine. So I put that at a, you know, like a fine mid-grade book. It was a newsstand. And so I kind of like went up with about a $40 stack and the $125 comic. And I just threw an offer. I probably lowballed it, you know, a little bit, which probably miffed him. But I said, could you do the stack for $100? Because I didn't think that Transformers was worth $125, even though he had a price like that. It was a mid-grade book, so I looked at it at like $80 in value, which is what I think would have been a fair offer for that, plus the, you know, $40 in books. I was hoping to get, you know, like a $20 discount. But of course, in his mind, it's like it's $160, and I'm asking $100 for it. And I don't know, he just got really upset. And then, you know, he's like, we don't give discounts. And he kind of just like was very rude. He's like, you know, we only give discounts to people who have like pull lists. Not all collectors want to pull stuff and like buy stuff week to week. So I didn't feel very welcome in there. The guy was, to be honest, the guy was a dick. He was like, because I knew I had talked to one of his partner owners, so I was like, are you the owner? And he got offended by that, I guess, as well. He's like, yeah, I'm the original founder owner. I was like, oh, because I talked to the other owner here. He's like, yeah, that guy's like one of our partners, the younger guy. And he was just like very like standoffish. So yeah, I'm never going back there again. And I wouldn't recommend anyone to go there, especially if you're into back issues. They don't have much of a selection. They've got wall books that are overpriced, if anything. And they've got a lot of like just Funko and like, like modern, like the current books, like, you can go there to get books that have just been released, which you can do that at any shop. You don't necessarily have to go there to get a pull list, but I wouldn't recommend that guy. The guy is just a dick. And I really felt bad about even getting these books. So I had a big stack. I pretty much, like, because I wasn't getting a discount, I reduced it to the ones I really, really wanted, which I guess in hindsight is actually for the better. But we did get some books that we wanted, and they are nice books. So the first book I'm going to show off is Superman 422. That is an incredible ballin' Superman cover. Oh my goodness, that's just great. Incredible black and white cover. That is just, that right there is just. We also got Jim Lee Wolverine. Wolverine 25, just an awesome Jim Lee cover there. Don't mind, and that was $4. That Superman was $3. Really happy to pick this one up. It does have issue. It has it can be pressed out, but there's a little bit of a crunch there. Kind of like it's just like a crunch, like does kind of breaks color, but it's a new stand edition, and I love this George Perez cover of Ares. Oh man, is that just stunning? So yeah, for $4 we picked that up. We also picked up Ball and Wonder Woman 92 for $4. That was great. So we're kind of chipping away at the Ball and Wonder Woman. And this book, I never run into this book, but this has been on my want list for a very, very long time. And this technically could have been the book of the haul, and it's in high grade. There's a couple stains at the top there, but that could definitely be cleaned up. And it's high grade. I'd say it's a VF coffee, very fine copy, and that is of ASM 306. This is the Todd McFarlane Action 1 homage, and this is one I've been wanting for an incredibly long time. We've been patient with it, and picking up for $10, I feel like that's fair value. That's a fair value for a high grade version of this book. So yeah, again, like great books. They had great books at Arcane. It's just they were very rude, and that's just, I can take my money and my business to people who are gonna treat me with respect and kindness. Maybe the guy's having a bad day, whatever. I don't think you should talk to customers like that, like they're not welcome in your store, because that's how I felt. I didn't feel welcome in the store. Just whatever. I might have done something to upset him, but that's that's no reason to treat your customers like that. In fact, that was just, it left a bad taste in my mouth all day. So yeah, don't go to Arcane Comics. It's a crappy business. All right, we've got our next location. we went to, let me get one book here. We went to World of Collectibles. This is a place I don't go to all that often because, again, you know, they don't have any like, they've got a dollar bin, they've got price books, and of course they've got, you know, books that have just come out. I went there to get my Batman Spawn books when they came out, all the variant covers by Jim Lee and Greg Capullo. I went there to get those. And that was kind of the last time I stopped in. I didn't feel like their pricing was all that great in their back issues. So yeah, we went in there today and we picked up a couple of books. Again, we didn't spend anything crazy in there, but the top loaders is where we got World of Collectibles is where we picked up the top loaders. So again, $20 for the top loaders and about $20 worth of books here as well. We did pick up some stuff from the dollar bins. We picked up this great New Teen Titans number 60. This is part of the Lonely Place of Dying. Just an incredible George Perez cover there of the New Teen Titans, the new Teen Titans. We also just it was there for $1, so picked up Fantastic Four, another Michael Turner cover here of Dr. Doom versus the Thing. Michael Turner goodness there. This one we got for $1 as well. Superman versus Booster Gold. Again, another book in the Burn Action Comics run that we're picking up. So I think this is the third book in the run that we picked up today. These are doubles. I recently picked them up, but these were high grade and they were going at a great price, so I just picked them up again. We picked up another copy of Fantastic Four 265. This is where She-Hulk joins the team. So I have 2 copies of that now. And we picked up another copy of Action Comics 643. I just love this George Perez Superman 1 homage for $3, high grade. I will pick that up. Now, this next book, I got the guy to drop it for me because it's ragged. It's got a lot of spine ticks. It's got some staining on the bright spots. And it's got a little bit of a corner crease there in the corner there. We picked up Action Comics 484. I love this Jose Garcia Lopez cover. It's sort of a wedding cover. And it's Superman's like carrying the car and has Lois on her shoulder. So it's just a beautiful book, but it was priced at $14. And I thought it was like, you know, like a mid-grade copy at best. So I went up there and I was like, you know, is there a reason it's priced at 14? I mean, can you kind of take a look at the condition and see what you can do about the price? And the guy was very fair. This guy was just great. He's like, when I came in, he was smiling. Hey, welcome. There's a lot of people in the shop versus Arcane where there was nobody. Nobody was there hanging out or doing anything. This guy had like a game of like Magic going. He had a bunch of people there shopping sports cards. And then like me and this other guy were digging comics. So that place was bumping. And he said, what are you willing to pay for this book? What would make you happy paying for it? And that was great. I said $7. So he gave it to me for $7. And in fact, I don't feel bad about paying $7 for this book. Newsstand, mid-grade, you know, still presents really beautifully. And I just love it. What's not to love about that book? All right, the last book we picked up at World of Collectibles. Again, they sell a lot of sports memorabilia and stuff like that. They had this in near the Sports Illustrated magazine section, which was weird. But they had this official 2001 yearbook for the Mariners. Now, for those of you that don't know, 2001 was Ichiro's rookie year, and he came in and won Rookie of the Year and MVP that year. So it's just a huge year for him as a player, and a very memorable one for Mariners fans that watched, that were engaged in that season. And so I mean, this normally is like a $10 yearbook. We just got it for $3, and it's in pristine condition as well. So that is just, I mean, this is just, it's going up on the shelf. I don't collect too many like sports books, but this is definitely one, like magazines and stuff. I don't collect that much, but that's one I'll definitely keep. All right, then we headed over to. Man, let me catch my breath. I've been running around all day. I haven't eaten, I'm parched. I probably had like a glass of water after I got back. It's just been crazy. It's been a crazy day. All right, so we went to Half Price Books in Linwood, and we didn't pick up much there. And in fact, we probably spent too much time there digging through everything. And they had just a lot of stuff, but nothing that I really wanted. We even dug through their 50-cent bins and the dollar bins, which was a kind of a waste because we didn't find anything. So we picked up Tales of the Teen Titans. I can't see the number on this one. I think it's 33 or 23 or something like that. Let me see here. 43. Tales of the Teen Titans 43 newsstand. This is a mid-grade book. It definitely needs a press. It's got kind of ragged corners there. Put it at like a fine copy. But it's a big first appearance of Jericho, and it's a big book. And again, just you want to get this for the Wolfman Perez partnership on this entire run. This is kind of rounding out George Perez's time on the book. So what a way to go out. Yeah, that's great. Picked that up for $3. This one we picked up for $2. Scooby-Doo #4, Jim Lee. Part of the Jim Lee collection now. We picked up Scooby-Doo #2 for $2. Make sure these books don't fall off here. And then we went to Mill Geek, and again, we didn't have a lot of time there. Basically, I got there, went to the restroom, and then, probably had like 35, 40 minutes to dig. And Russ was in there today. It wasn't the other staff member. Russ, you could tell he wanted to close up shop right on time. So he kept telling us like, hey, you've got like 30 minutes, you got 40, 15 minutes. So I just stopped digging. I found a couple of books. We found another copy. This is like probably my 10th copy of Deathmate Black, high grade. We picked it up for 50 cents. Again, we're specking on Gen 13s. And we picked up a newsstand copy of Superman 22. This is now my burn run on Superman is complete. The newsstand burn run on this is complete. Didn't have this one. Now we have it, and the burn run on Superman is complete. Picked that up for 50 cents. And then we picked up these two for 20. Essentially got this one for half of what they were asking. World's Finest Superman and Green Lantern. This is a Neil Adams cover. So World's Finest 201. Got it for $4 or $5, I should say. And we got this one, World's Finest, 176. You know, this is probably, I want to say it's a fine minus. Yeah, it's just too good to be. Yeah, it's a solid mid-grade book, maybe like a 4.0. But just a beautiful Neil Adams cover there. Picked this up for 15. You got Superman, Batman, Supergirl, and Batgirl. That's just Neil Adams goodness. And we're not done with the Neil Adams goodness. We then went to, on Wednesday, so this is my haul from Wednesday. And again, we normally wouldn't pick up so much. We picked up $62 worth of stuff at Half Price Books. We normally don't do that unless there's a bunch of good stuff there, and there's a bunch of good stuff. And, you know, I have a friend who, his name's Dave. We're actually meeting up this weekend to go watch Deadpool and do some comic book trading. But he's there all the time, and he gets there as they're putting out books. So he's the first to kind of like claim all the good stuff. Picked up a bunch of good Star Wars like books and some low print run SpongeBob's. Again, those are things I wouldn't have even thought to. Maybe I would have picked up the Darth Maul covers that he had, but apparently a lot of $100 books that he was picking up for half a cover, which is great for him. But I was also able to find stuff that he left behind that I thought was good, and we'll get to that. Awesome. All right, you didn't miss much. We're getting through the final sort of run of our haul. So on Wednesday, we stopped off at Belkirk Coin and Stamp. Belkirk Coin and Stamp is my sort of like LCS only because of proximity. It's really the best shop with the best selection. The old guy in there, Bill, he and I are, well, I wouldn't say we're buddies yet. He's still a little ornery at times. He's old, I get it. But, you know, like, he actually pulled out, like, he has inventory behind the store stuff. And I basically saw a guy like pull a box from there and pick out a bunch of like books from like Wolverine books. And while I was watching him, there was also Wonder Woman books in there. So I basically asked him, hey, can I also pull that box out and see if I can get stuff? He's like, yeah, sure. And he went back there and he got it for me. And we didn't pick up any Wonder Woman books from that. But there was a lot of good stuff in there. He didn't have any Ballin like Wonder Woman, which is what I'm looking for. No Silver Age. It's mostly sort of like late bronze, Copper Age Wonder Woman, which is fine, but not specifically what I was looking for. But yeah, you know, whenever I take a stack of books up there, he always kind of slashes it. He gives me usually like a 10 to 20% discount without even, because in the beginning he didn't give any discounts. He would just like basically give it to me like the full price, full value. But now that, you know, we're kind of like, you know, he sees me from time to time, and not that we converse, but, you know, I'm very friendly and I say hi to him, and he's always, you know, warm to that. So yeah, he's great. And he knocked off a couple of dollars on these ones as well. I think I got all these books for, what was it? I got it for 40, if I am not mistaken. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 40 for all of these. So it was basically, I want to say it was like about $46 for the bulk of it, but he knocked about $6 off, which is great. So a lot of these are priced from the half priced bin. And then he basically threw this one in for like $2. So let's start with that. We got this for $2 essentially. This was priced at $8, but we got for $2, which is this great Neil Adams cover there. World's Finest, $244. Look at how nice that cover is. That is just a nice cover. Neil Adams, goodness. Whew, that's hot. I showed this off on Instagram as a preview of this haul. And it's just this beautiful ball-in cover here of Detective Comics. We got the Clan. Batman's about to put some paint on the Clan right there. This is Detective Comics Annual, 1989 Annual, number 2. Just an incredible ball-in cover. We've been picking up so many nice ball-in books. Yeah, World's Finest 201. Did I pick that one up? Yeah. Oh, you said, okay, 201? No, 244, yeah. This is a book it was never on my radar, but it was sitting there, and I thought, well, this is an interesting book. And I looked it up, and this is John Byrne and Stan Lee. So Stan Lee and John Byrne collaboration on Silver Surfer 1. This was the 80s relaunch of Silver Surfer. And they had it there for $8. So I was like, yeah, it's a number 1 issue. It's in very decent grade. It's VF for sure. It's pretty clean. Maybe a little bit of a corner. It's very negligible. It's got some spine ticks, but yeah, it's a John Byrne cover there of Silver Surfer. So again, just a key John Byrne book, because John Byrne did do some Silver Surfer related stories for Marvel, and that's just a big key one. All right, these last 2 are very, very big books, but the grades on these are what made them very affordable for me, because essentially, you could say we got this for like like $10 each. So I'm going to start with it's a big first appearance, first of all. And Fanboy, you're going to appreciate this. It's Batman Vengeance of Bane. It's, again, the first appearance. Now, this book cost me $10. It's a $100 book, but it cost me $10 because, very nice. First off, when you look at it, you can see what's wrong with it. It's got these, it was like sticking to the bag, I think. And so, and the bag had rippled. And so when you pulled the bag off, it took some of that ink with it. Now, I don't think it deters from the book that much. I mean, you can tell it's still the book, right? And outside of that, take a look at these corners. These corners are razor sharp. Spine is super clean. That's it's a square bound book. It's a clean spine, top corners. So it's like a near mint book outside of that cover pull. So I was like, $10 for this. And it's in my opinion, it's still high grade. Even with the, I know a lot of people would say, you know, just because of the surface area of the book, that issue, it has to be low grade. Some might argue that, but it presents really beautifully. You know, it's just got those lines. So if you can get past looking at those lines, it's an absolutely beautiful book. So $10 for that. I was just like, yes, that's what we want to pay for a first appearance of Bane. And I don't mind having, like, I don't really like want to go out and get like first appearance of like Riddler or Penguin or all these other. I mean, Joker would be nice. First appearance of Joker would be nice, but there aren't too many villains outside of like a handful where I would really want their first appearance. But Bane is definitely one of them, because that that Nightfall run and Batman and Fanboy, you understand, right? That Bane run on Batman where he breaks the back and then Azrael comes back and defeats him, and it's this whole like shit. Batman, what is going on in Batman is like just turmoil for Bruce Wayne and all the characters in that. It was an incredible run, and the fact that Bane's made his way all the way to the movies. See, I look, you know, he made it to the Christopher Nolan, the third movie. Incredible villain in that movie. He also just breaks Batman in that movie. Very terrifying, actually. You know, Tom Hardy's very terrifying as Bane in that role. But yeah, that I think that cements. That was like sort of like really outside of comics. It was the first introduction to Bane the character for the wider audience, and man, did it not disappoint. That you know, everybody in that movie did a phenomenal job. That entire trilogy is just, I think, you know, outside of Superman the original movie, it's the best comic book movie ever. And that's just my opinion, but that trilogy, Christopher Nolan trilogy of Batman, just can't, I don't think it'll ever be surpassed. He just did a phenomenal job from start to finish. And yeah, awesome that we have that book. All right, this next book is also another big key. Y'all know this cover. I've got this both slabbed and raw here. Got a newsstand and direct, and now we have the Marvel Age. Yeah, got this one for $10 too. This is another big book. It's like a $60 book. The only reason is because it was like, it's got that sort of like dogged corner there. It's got spine ticks, you know. It's but no creasing. I mean, I'd still put it at like a fine copy, if anything. But yeah, got it for $10 here. This one has not only like a preview of Secret Wars, it has the first design sketch of the black suit Spider-Man, or the black suit. So that makes this like just a huge key. And this was like the biggest news during my collecting era. You know, black suit Spidey was just like the talk of the town. You know, he was coming out in Secret Wars. You know, they'd already released the you know, the first appearance, ASM, you know, what is it, 52. And he's making a bunch of appearances in Spider-Man. And we knew there was something up with the suit, but we didn't know the origins. And then boom, this comes out and they drop the origin. And we find out it's a symbiote suit. It's an alien life form. And then boom, it leads to Venom and all that. And a kid is basically like this 12-year-old kid came up with a design and sold it to, you know, Jim Shooter for like, I think $100 or something like that. And the rest is history. And basically this Venom and the symbiote continued to generate revenue for Marvel. So I would say that was a smart business decision on Marvel's part. All right. we're going to get to our half price books haul, and we're going to end with a book of the haul from Half Price Books. And there's a lot of great books in this Half Price Books haul. Again, normally we don't spend 60 some odd dollars, but we got budget, we got income coming in these days. I spent $170 this week, so how often do I do that? Almost never. It is over my kind of like weekly spending budget, but it's still within. I'm still saving, like I'm still on top in terms of what I earned this week. So I didn't feel all that guilty about it because again, we picked up so much freaking goodness. So a lot of value in this, not a lot of value in, well, I guess some value there in terms of picking up the books with the issues. We got those cheap, I think. But there's a few books in here that I think I'll say we got them for a pretty, we got them undervalued, I'd say. It's not like we didn't pick like $100 book for like $1 or anything like that. But, all of these things I think are fairly priced to underpriced that we got them for. All right, so we're going to start with like a Jim Lee book, and we'll end with a Jim Lee book. We got Iron Man #1. Jim Lee is just on the stories on this one. It's Whilce Portacio on pencils. Beautiful Whilce Portacio cover here. We recently picked up the variant cover by Ryan Benjamin, and then we got the Whilce cover, so picked up both covers. We're feeling good about ourselves. We got, this is an incredible cover. It's probably my favorite cover in the whole Spidey Super Stories run, because it's just a great, like, how often do you see John Romita Sr. do X-Men? It's just, you just never see it. And that's what we have here. We have a beautiful John Romita Sr. cover here. I'd put this at a VF copy, Fine Plus VF copy. Spidey Super Stories 15. We got this beautiful John Romita cover of Aurora, and man, that's just classic stuff right there. We paid $5 for this one. It's a king size Thor special from the early Bronze Age. It's just that I just love this Jack Kirby cover. That Jack Kirby Thor is just classic. So it's a classic Thor cover. It's a reprint, I think, of something in there. Reprint and a couple, I think they're all reprints or something in that annual. Or no, maybe there are new stories. But anyway, pick that up. That was $5. This one we picked half a cover. It's got some issues, a lot of color breaking spine ticks, but overall, I would say it's high grade. We've got we finally got this book, DC versus Marvel Comics from the 90s. This is the first continuity crossover. And yeah, I mean, this is going to happen someday. You just mark my words. DC and Marvel are going to run out of stuff, and they're going to be like, you know what? Let's put out something together, and it's going to get done. So that'll be very cool when it happens. All right. This was just, so it's got to ignore the sticker. I changed the bag. This was there for $10. It's a signed book, and I was like, no, yeah, that's really good. It's high grade. It's a black cover, so having this in high grade on a black cover is just pretty significant. It's Descender #1. And I'll just give you a look at the spine. There's really, really, I mean, there's a couple just tiny line breaks there, but overall just clean, sharp corners. Again, Descender #1. This has been optioned, I think. They're working on like something on TV for this. This is a first print. Got it signed by Jeff Lemire. So, for $10, signed comic, we couldn't leave it there, so we picked it up. Next book. This is a big, this is a big DC key. Early Teen Titans. It's Teen Titans 22. This is the origin of Wonder Girl in this one. And it's written by Neil Adams. I think that's cool. I'm so focused on Neil Adams, the artist, that you forget he wrote comic books too. And this is one of those instances where he didn't do artwork in it, but he wrote the story for this. So this is a big book, but what we have here is like a VG minus copy that we picked up for $8. Presents beautifully, so I didn't mind. There aren't like rips or like huge creases. Everything is just kind of like along the edge there in terms of creasing. It's kind of dirty. Spines got some, issues, a rusty staple and all that, staple pull. But yeah, again, key Teen Titans book there. Don't mind picking that up for $8. All right, this one is a big one too. Normally I wouldn't pick up Star Wars. I don't really like the Star Wars, Marvel Star Wars comic books. I know a lot of people that do, but I'm not one of those. But this one, if there's a book in the run that, obviously, I wouldn't mind picking up like the first appearance of Boba Fett, because he's my favorite character. And this one is interesting because, first of all, it's a great cover. It's a cover of Luke and Darth battling it out. It's a newsstand copy as well. It's actually a very nice presenting copy. That spine is pretty clean. The corners are sharp. No creasing anywhere. It's just got, some issues here and there. Corners are a little rounded. Yeah, I'd put this at like a fine copy. So we got this for $10, which is kind of like where its value is. But what really got me to liking this book was this is the book where Darth Vader reveals to Luke that I'm your father. So it's the I am your father moment in the comic book. And so that is a book I want. So I picked it up, $10, paid kind of what it's valued at. So that was nice. All right, so this is the last book, and this is what really put us over the top for our pickup there at Half Price Books. Again, like I say, we spent $62. We don't normally do that, but as you can see, there's a lot of good stuff that we picked up. And this is sort of the pinnacle of that. We got this X-Men 2 direct edition signed copy. Got it in the gold 90 signature there. It's classic. But we also have this COA, Comics Express. And this is an early Comics Express card there, because I think the ones they roll out eventually are him sitting in his office. I think he's got glasses on or something, and a striped shirt. But this is, I think, one of the first like runs of this COA card that they ran, and then they probably ran out of that and then printed like a second print of a different image. So yeah, I have that sort of really marquee image. You see it everywhere in terms of the Comics Express. But this one, again, I've rarely have seen this or run into it. So That's what really prompted me to get this book for $30. I mean, X-Men 2 signed copy for $30. That's obviously, you know, like a great value for a Jim Lee signed book, especially in his 90 signature, since these are a little bit rarer. But to have this additional Comics Express COA card there of Jim, look how awesome he looks there. He's just like, yeah, I just sold 8 million copies of X-Men. I'm pretty badass. So yeah, this is the big book of the haul. It's our 360th book, Jim Lee book. And you guys, thanks for just hanging out with me and enjoying this kind of stuff, man. $30 for that, but I can't say no. I can't say no to this. So loving that cover. Love that cover. So yeah, we got another X-Men, Jim Lee X-Men signed book into the collection. All right, let's just kind of relax. What'd you pick up? Did you find something big? When are you gonna put the video out? I want to see it. Tell me. I can't wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's hit and miss sometimes. It really depends. So, as much as I like this guy, Dave, the guy, he and I are buddies at Half Price Books. As much as I love him, he's been sniping. Like when the new stuff comes in, I thought I was pretty quick in terms of getting there and sniping all the good stuff. This guy just hangs around Half Price Books. I think he's on unemployment or something, or he's retired, or I don't know what his deal is, but he just hangs around Half Price Books, and then he goes in and he gets all the when he's telling me what he's picked up, he's like, I just picked up this from there, I just picked up this, and I'm like listening to it, I'm like, dang, dude. So, but he was very nice. He actually could have purchased this book, the Jim Lee signed book, but he's like, I know you like Jim Lee, go ask the guy. He's holding it in the back. I think they're gonna put it in the lockbox. So go ask him for it. And lo and behold, they had it priced. So I thanked him for that, because he's like, yeah, I know they have that book back there. I basically gave it to them and said, you should put this in the lockbox. It's a signed book. So he didn't want it. He also, from time to time will tell me, hey, there's Jim Lee books. Go get the Jim Lee books. And he what he does is he puts them in the back area so I can find them and buy them. So he's really cool, but he's my competition, as much as great a guy he is, he goes in there and he just snipes all the good stuff. I hate that. Our Redmond store does that too. So you can't get like copper, like this would be 50 cents normally, right? They price this at $2. And then they also price out, like this one's priced out already, but they'll price, they've got people there now who look up stuff on eBay. This is what Dave told me, because he overheard the conversation on. So this is how they train their people, at least up where we are. This is how they train their people to price comic books. They give them like a framework, saying like if it's under $1, price it at $2 to $3. If it's like a 50-cent cover, price it at $5. If it's below that, price it anywhere from 5 to 10. So they have these like sort of like protocols to price the books. But even with that protocol, they're gonna miss key stuff, right? They might price a book, like $100 book, for like $5 or something. So those, you still do want to like, you still do want to be cognizant of what's priced and look that stuff up. But yeah, like you're gone are the days where you're getting like X Factor for like 50 cents. Gone are those days. You're gonna pay $2 for X Factor. Right? Batman books, the era we collect would all have been under $1. Now they're $2, right? $3. It's ridiculous. So I feel you, man. I feel you. I have the same issue. Just like I just saw today, they had Fantastic Four Burn Run. Not even the highest grade in a loose. It wasn't even bag. It wasn't boarded. It was just bagged. They had Burn Fantastic Four priced for $5 to $10. I kind of want to go up to the guy and be like, you realize this is not a $5 book. It's like 3 to 4 at best. Some of the key issues in that run are like maybe 10, but these weren't any of those books. They were just kind of like blindly stickered and way overpriced. So how many of you have watched Deadpool yet? Are you guys amped to see it soon? Who's watched it? Let me know if you watch it. Just say, like thumbs up or something that you watched it. I am going to see Deadpool Wolverine tomorrow after work. I'm going to see it tomorrow evening. And boy, am I excited. I am so excited to watch it. No spoilers, but everything I've been hearing from people in my sphere has been that it's a great movie. Which I expected, just from what I've seen, is going to be a good movie. And they only revealed probably like a third of it, like the first act. So we've got ultimately like still the main part of the story to delve through. And again, all those like cameo appearances by different Marvel characters. It's just going to be fun. So also it's going to, fuel some spec buying. I'm sure like theories on like what's going to come to the MCU, but it should be a good time. Looking forward to that. Okay. You're going to wait till D+? Yeah, make sure you don't wait too long though. Disney Plus, you're gonna wait till it streams? Yeah. That's not bad either. You're just gonna get a little bit of a lag. I'm sure you're gonna have, how much of it is gonna get spoiled at some point? You know what I mean? It's gonna get spoiled for you at some point, B. You don't want to wait on that too long. But now I feel it's all right. Yeah. I have it hyped up so much in my mind. I probably shouldn't do that because I actually might come out of it disappointed. Just because, for me, this has been something I've been waiting for since, like when it got announced. And I just kind of was just looking forward to it. Wolverine's just one of my favorite characters. The yellow suits there, and again, just when they teased the Sabretooth battle, I just knew they had me at that announcement. Like Wolverine's battling Sabretooth, and they're killing the Fox universe finally. As great as that first X-Men film was, the subsequent movies were just awful. Hugh Jackman did great. He's always great as Wolverine, but the stories in those Fox movies are just kind of ridiculous. Well, I've I've already overhyped it in my head. I can't underhype it, but I imagine there's a possibility that I'll come out of the theater being like, well, because I'm always like this. I'll be like, I'll watch something and I'll everybody's saying good things about it, but I will be the only one be like, really, it's kind of lame. And I find just the dumbest stuff to find things lame about. Like if it's some over convoluted explanation about how something scientific or some event or technical, if they're explaining that in detail with a lot of just like these weird loosey goosey science terms, and they're just like, like, go along with it. This is fiction. Just go along with it. If there's too much of that, which obviously that's Marvel to begin with, like it's pretty much all the Marvel content. It's kind of like they just expect you to, they'll explain it. It comes from this like origin of like some legend, and the guy's like got defeated 100 years ago, but he's coming back. They'll explain this whole convoluted thing, and he has some kind of a jewel, or he's bringing some kind of weapon or something, and they kind of explain things like that and expect the audience to just lap it up and buy it. Like I would like a little bit more That's why I love the Nolan Batman movies. It's grounded in reality. It's not, you're not having to deal with like magic or, like cosmic forces or anything like that. Not to say those things aren't fun. It's just you've got to approach it thoughtfully for me to buy all the science fiction cosmic stuff. If it's just explained in some long, drawn out, where you're just throwing terms around and stuff like that, it's just like, yeah, it just seems like a cop out, a writing cop out for me. But I imagine there's a little bit of that in this Deadpool because they're dealing with multiverse. But I also see possibility, like, they pretty much, I love the way they're creating, the multiverse, especially how it can, like, how you can basically, if there's an event that's supposed to happen, but doesn't happen the way it's supposed to go, it creates, like an anomaly in that timeline, and the timeline starts to, kind of fall in on itself. And that's been a theme sort of like in DC and Marvel for quite a bit of time. So like when it's explained in like the comic book kind of terms, that's something like, yeah, that's true to the comic book, and so I'll buy it if it's coming from a comic book, and it was well thought out in the comic book, and you're bringing that's fine. But if you're just making stuff up, not based on the comic book, which is a lot of the Marvel stuff, then that's when I have like, it's harder pill to swallow. Let's just put it that way. All right. Oh, you liked X2? I liked X1 over X2. I mean, X2 wasn't bad. They came with a bigger budget in X2 for sure. And of course, Magneto was back in X2. Yeah, I mean, I guess the first two weren't that bad. Well, yeah, I just feel like when you go back and watch those though now, because that's what happened. Like when they first came out, I remember, yeah, because I watched all of them in the theaters. But now when you go back and watch them, they're just like, X1 still holds up. I think X1 still holds up, but there's just stuff about X2 and X3 that just like, I don't know. But yeah, the cast is great. I love the cast. They did great casting for those movies. Those castings still hold up. for sure. So what are you guys excited about now that we're past the Wolverine Deadpool phase? Is there anything you guys are like specking on, looking forward to? I had a great conversation with Russ today at his shop because I picked up this book. Where is it? I picked up the first appearance of Gen 13, and I was just kind of joking. I'm like, I'm specking on first appearance Gen 13. I have like 10 copies of this, and he kind of chuckled. But we're having a good conversation, and I basically laid out like to him because I wanted to get his thoughts. Whether he thought we'd see Gen 13 in the DC universe, and he seemed to be like probably not. He was kind of more leaning toward we'll probably see Grifter, we'll probably see like Voodoo, or definitely we'll see Zealot, like some form of Zealot. So like Wildcats is kind of like probably the thing we'd see first before Gen 13. And I kind of like agree with that. Yeah, like out of all that 90s like Jim Lee stuff, I think Wildcats is probably the thing you'd want to see. Because 90s, like the Gen X is just too dated. It's too 90s. It's too grunge. I mean, you got a guy called Grunge. How are you going to bring grunge into the modern realm of things without making him some like old dude like me? You know what I mean? Like, it's like grunge just doesn't work for modern audiences. But the whole, like super soldier team, mutant team, I think it could still work if you do it early enough, or you bring them from the 90s. You could do that. You could just like time warp them from the 90s, and they're just this like 90s super team in the present period, and they're stuck in the present period, and they're just having to adjust. That would be awesome to get that, right? Yeah, I'd make them time displaced. That would be, yeah, it would work. So James Gunn, if you're listening, people are gonna love Wildcats when they become part of the DCU. They've been part of DC for a while now, right? They've been part of DC continuity for a while, and it's just going to be nice to see that official integration on the mass market side. So when kids are running around with their like Grifter and Zealot toys, it's come full circle, and it's here to stay. I just hope, there's so much stuff in the DC catalog to bring to the DCU. And right now they're focused on a lot of good stuff, Guy Gardner, they're focused on like some of the Justice Society members. They're focused on the Authority, which is kind of like Wildstorm, but like Supergirl, all the core things, like the Batman's going to be there, of course, Wonder Woman, Justice League, they're all going to be there at some point. But I just like the fact that they're teasing Swamp Thing. They're teasing all these other like realms of DC that is making people like me and you, fanboy, like people like us excited, but at the same time there's so much there. What are they actually bringing? So when I look at that catalog of stuff, there are specific things I would love to see. Um, and I think again, Wildcats, Gen 13, just because that's my era, man. I can understand like older guys going with the older stuff, but that's my jam, man. Uh, Before I die, I just gotta have that nostalgia kick. I just gotta have that validation, like, yeah, the stuff you collected and read and obsessed about in the 90s is still relevant today and is going to continue. Your kids are going to love this stuff as well. We don't get too much of that. Deadpool is a great example. He was born in the 90s and he's pretty much a mainstay. Venom, another 90s creation, he's a mainstay. And those are great. Those are great examples. I love both of those characters. But again, if we could just get some of the Image stuff that's in DC right now, if we can get that out to audiences, like Deathblow, come on, who doesn't want to see Deathblow? He's basically the Punisher on steroids. Come on, everybody loves the Punisher, but here's a guy that literally would have like eaten Frank Castle for lunch. Deathblow, man, he would have eaten Frank Castle for lunch. So let's not forget stuff like that. Oh, really? Okay. Awesome. Look, you're doing some trading card stuff, huh? Very nice. All right, all right. Well, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that. But dude, you gotta give me a preview of that offline. You gotta give me a preview of that. I want to see it. I want to see what you're working on. I promise I won't leak it or anything. It'll just stay between you and me. But yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. Love to see that. Some big Jim Lee news. He's over at San Diego Comic-Con. You could probably watch his panels. They're probably getting uploaded as we speak. I'll probably go watch them. Apparently he, what was he doing? He was, he's doing one of those drawing panels, right? I forgot what the significance of that was, but I have to go watch the video, I guess. But it was something interesting, so go check that out. It was a drawing panel, but he was going to do something. There's something significant about what he was drawing, so that might be a good one to catch. I don't know about you, but I just feel like DC's about to turn the corner with James Gunn. I don't know. Is that how a lot of you guys are feeling? I'm feeling that, but then again, I just tend to do that. I tend to like want things to be good. I was like so excited for Black Adam. I was like, dude, Black Adam's gonna be so good. The Rock's gonna play Black Adam. It looked decent. Obviously some of the fight scenes and stuff in that looked really, really good, but it ended up just being, not that it was like terribly disappointing, but yeah, it didn't live up to the hype. I did like the fact that they teased Black Adam and Superman battling at the end credits. I did like that. That was cool. But yeah, I didn't feel like it was the worst movie, but at the same time, I didn't feel like it was worthy of the Black Adam mantle. Like should have been better. Yeah. And I wouldn't mind seeing Rock play Black Adam again, but they gotta reinvent it somehow. Um, but yeah, I was excited for that. It was disappointing, and then I hope that's not what's happening here with the Superman. I love the suit, by the way. I'm digging the new design of the suit. It's comic accurate for what's in DC right now, and I've seen the images of like Clark and Superman, and that corn sweat dude looks like he's a legit. He understands the character, and they're not doing anything like weird with it. Like they're they're gonna stick to they're gonna pretty much stick to, I think, the the narrative on Superman that everybody loves. They're not gonna go beyond that. And we're getting Lex Luthor. We know we're getting a Supergirl at some point. She might be in this one. She might not be. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm just excited just to see where they take it. Um, and they won't have the classic John Williams soundtrack, but I mean, I just wish the forces that be could make that soundtrack available for this. At least use it, use it in parts. You can have an entirely new soundtrack, but at least when you introduce the character, you gotta go with that Superman theme, man. Um, and that's just. But I know they won't have it, so just can't be too disappointed with that. It's just all the licensing stuff. It's just impossible to do that these days. All right, well, yeah, can't wait for the new Superman. I'm glad to hear you guys are also excited about it. Um, you know, like yeah, I mean, I've got about a month left until that Comic-Con in Vancouver. And I spent a lot this week, but I think we've pretty much hit up every shop. So now I'm kind of I'm left to hit up shops for the second time. And I don't want to do that. I feel like I've gone and picked out all the stuff I wanted from all the shops in my area now, within reason. Obviously, there are places down south north I haven't ventured beyond. But everything within like an hour's drive north and south of me, I've been to, except the shops that I just refuse to go to because the owners are just wipes. So I have a good sort of muscle memory of what places have. Mill Geek has a big book I want. There's a shop in Tacoma that has a big book that I want. At the moment, that's kind of where we stand. The other thing is, like, there's this place that only opens up on Saturdays, and I'm working when it's open. But apparently the guy takes appointments. So I'm thinking of maybe calling that guy up this week and having him come out Friday, like late afternoon, maybe, to see if he can't open up his shop and for me to pick up books there. Because there's a lot of like big books. We know the prices on them that, I wouldn't mind spending next week's budget, or at least a portion of next week's budget on. So that's something we may do. But for now, there's no urgent place that I feel like I need to go and check out and like hunt. So this will be a great opportunity. Like over the next 4 weeks, we're probably going to just take a step back. I'll still hit up half price books because that inventory is always like cycling in and out. But for now, I'm just going to like chill on going on comic book hunts, and save a good chunk of budget for the Vancouver show, and really just go all out on big buys. I mean, it's basically like, let's say, unless there's a book I know in my sphere here that's cheaper, which I doubt, I'm just going to assume everything in Canada, we're going to get the best price on. So just get it. Don't think like, oh, I'm going to run into it down the road locally somewhere or half price. No, 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 no. If we see the book that's on our want list and it's there for right around the price we're willing to pay, we're going to obviously haggle and do some, try to get it down a little bit, but we're going to pick up the book. It's not going to be a situation where like, no, I could pick it up late. No, no, no. With the exchange rate being what it is, and with us being in Canada and just going kind of all out at this show to come back with, I'm not going to drive 6 hours and come back with nothing to show for it. So we're going all in, you know, with the gas and everything we're paying. We're like, every whatever we find, we're going to get it, obviously within reason, but we're going to pick it up. And so that is going to be a great haul video when we come back from Vancouver. I'll probably go live the next, it'll be Monday. You know, we'll try to go live Monday evening. We'll see how I'm feeling, but I'm sure I'll be I'm going to have to rest up and kind of like just get like build up my stamina to just go all day. And I can do that. I mean, I went all day today, hard all day today, but it's going to take a good amount of like, you know, because I'm going to have this huge backpack, my Jim Lee Hex backpack, which everybody is picking up now for like 30 or like $40, $50. Go pick it up. They still got stock. I really recommend that Hex backpack. It's such a good show. Like you can put slabs in there. You can put a bunch of books in there, all well protected, bunch of zippers. You can put the phone, everything in there, and it's just easy to carry. It's a little bulky, but it's nice to carry. Go pick that up. The Jim Lee Hex backpacks are going for like $50 now, which is like ridiculously cheap. It's like more than half off, because when these things launched, which is when I got it last year, they launched for like $120, which is what I paid for mine. Now I'm seeing all these people like boast, hey, I got my Hex backpack, I paid $50, and I'm just like, ugh, had we waited. I've only used that once too since I got it. I've only used it once for one show. So yeah, a little bitter. I might pick up a second backpack just to be like, you know, just to, at least like I've got two now in two different designs. But no, we'll just keep the one we have. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. This was fun. And yeah, we'll come back. We'll jump on probably Friday. I'm sure I'll have some books, but don't expect anything on this caliber or level. You know, we picked up 37 books today, $150. That's about $4 a book. I think I picked up a lot of value. I mean, you know, we just got a lot of big books, you know, a lot of big books like this. First Bane for $10. Come on, you got to give me that. And doesn't look all that terrible. I don't mind those white lines, to be honest. Kind of makes it look like there's like a graphic effect to it, you know, like that's meant to be that way, but obviously it's not. But yeah, anyway, let me know if you're watching this on the rewind. Let me know what you thought of the haul. And you know, fanboy, I'm going to see you tomorrow morning. What's the theme tomorrow for the comic battles, cover battles? I got to join you one of these days for that and just prepare. You got a great crew, though. You guys just do such a fabulous job with that. It's like the best thing to wake up to be honest. Like, just I'm just it just you just start your weekend off right. Go check out Fanboy Prime's channel if you haven't. Um, it's very early morning for me here, but I think what time do you go? It's Central Time. You go live like what 8 Central or something like that. It's around like 6 a.m. here when it goes live, but yeah, I mean, sometimes I wake up late and I miss it, but there are times when I wake up and I just click you guys on and you guys are just going at it. It's fun. 7 a.m. Central. Okay, 7 a.m. Central. So that's what 5 a.m. here, 6 a.m. here, something like that. Yeah, yeah. So what's the theme tomorrow? I'll go look it up. All right. Well, I'll see you on there tomorrow, and everybody else have a good evening. Thanks for tuning in, hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Hero versus hero. All right. Awesome.